Dublin-Macon Cardiology, celebrating over 14 years of serving Dublin and Lawrence County. At Dublin-Macon Cardiology, we're always committed to taking care of you and your heart. Bringing state-of-the-art cardiac care closer to home with a walk-in chest pain center. New patients are always welcome and no referral is ever required. Dr. Vega is proud to announce the addition of Elise Rotrammel, a nurse practitioner, to our staff. Drop by today at Dublin-Macon Cardiology, 206A Hospital Drive in Dublin.
Welcome everybody. I'm glad to be here today at Hope Pediatrics. Dr. Leah Helton. I was here at the ribbon cutting a little over a month ago, I guess. We had the ribbon cutting here. And this is, has been such a success for you. And first of all, tell our viewers, back up on your path to making it to Hope Pediatrics. Talk about that path.
Okay. Well, first, I went to Mercer for college and stayed there for medical school and residency. I did my pediatric residency at the Medical Center of Central Georgia. Now we call it Navicent Health. And so after that, I went back home to Sandersville and I worked there in a practice that was owned by the hospital for 4 years. And then I moved to Dublin and worked in a private practice here where I was an employed physician for right at 5 years, and then now I'm here and kind of on my own.
And have made Dublin your home, haven't you?
I've made Dublin my home. We love living in Dublin. It's close enough to home. My parents, my husband's parents are just 30-45 minutes away, but we just love this community and feel like it's a great place to raise our kids, and we've really just kind of fit in. Yeah. Here, and really like it.
Well, it's a wonderful community, and it is close to your home. I was in Sandersville this week, and when I leave home, before you know it, you're coming through Wrightsville. That's the way I go, and then before you know it, you're pulling into basically Tennille and Sandersville there. So it is close enough for them grandparents to see them 3 beautiful kids you got, right?
Got to, yes.
I was talking to one of your patients that just left. I'll leave the names out, obviously, here, but got a brand new baby and had it in. And I'm telling you, as a grandparent, and the grandparent with the patient a little while ago, we've been friends for 50 years. And just the glow on a grandparent's face is just, and we could do a whole show just on talking about grandkids. There's no doubt in grandparents. But I know they love you being this close, so that's got to be great. Let's talk about this time of the year. We got 6 grandkids. Seem like all of them's noses are running, and I know it's flu season. Talk about what we need to do for our children.
Okay. So right now we are definitely in the midst of cold and flu season. Lots of just viral infections are out there. So we're definitely seeing a lot of flu right now. Usually with flu, you're going to see high fever, sudden onset, and cold symptoms. So cough, runny nose, congestion, usually clear runny nose. You want to treat the fever, make sure they're hydrated. That's a huge thing. The biggest complication we actually see from flu is dehydration. So with colds and even allergies, because we can see the pollen out today and the past couple of days, and over-the-counter antihistamine is good. It's totally what we prescribe, same thing, Zyrtec, Claritin, Allegra, those are the main 3. And just, try to rinse that pollen off when you see it on the porches. And you can still let the kids go outdoors and play. They need that outside time, and it gets tracked inside, so it's not really any different. They're exposed to it, whether they're inside or outside. And just washing hands, that's a huge thing. Cleaning off toys, with viral particles, as kids pass toys around and spread germs that way.
Yep. And I'm surprised, I got an email from Fairview yesterday. I'm surprised at how few people, and I think this was adults, but how few people actually wash their hands. And the ones that wash their hands, less than half of them use soap. Tell us the proper way. And I know this is probably a basic question. You're saying, why is he asking that question? But we need to properly wash our hands. When I walked in your office a minute ago, I'm so OCD, but I washed my hands before I left the office. I used the sanitizer on your counter here because I shake a lot of hands. I'm with a lot of people. And I want to stay well, but what is the proper way to wash our hands?
Well, I mean, you want to, use soap, and I think the warm water is better. I'm not sure if that's really been studied or not. And, rub your hands together. Don't just put the soap on there and, hold your hands under the water. Rub it together, and then rinse where the water is going down. And supposedly you're supposed to do it for a good, I think it's 1 minute, a full minute. I'd have to look that back up.
Yeah,
but,
you're right.
You want to wash it for a good little while.
Yeah, and warm water, and if you look at my hands, and of course I'm older, they're cracking because I use hot water and I have to use moisturizer because obviously the more you wash your hands, the more they dry out. But it is so important, y'all. Wash your hands. Have your kids wash their hands. And when you go to the restroom or when you touch, like you said, the toys, and as far as touching money, we give kids money to take to school to buy ice cream or lunch or whatever. Money is some of the nastiest stuff.
It's been a lot
I know
of
we need it,
hands.
but it's nasty, so we don't know where that money's been. What about vaccines? Talk about vaccines and the certain years, what needs to be done there.
Oh, you mean just as the kids grow? At birth, most babies get the hepatitis B vaccine. And then we do vaccines at 2, 4, and 6 months. And those are the vaccines that have been around for a really long time. You're kind of like classic things, I say, that we were immunized against when I was growing up. So diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis. Some newer things now, strep pneumo, we call it the Prevnar vaccine. Haemophilus is a name of a bacteria. That's another one, Haemophilus influenza, which is not to be confused with influenza.
Right.
So those, and rotavirus vaccine, those the babies get at 2, 4, and 6 months. And polio. I think I left out polio. And then at a year, they get what we call the live virus vaccine. So hepatitis A, MMR, and chickenpox. Then they get some boosters at 15 and 18 months and 2 years. They're pretty much done. They get another booster at 4 of the second MMR, chickenpox, polio, and DTaP. Some places you can get that at 3 or at 4. Polio and DTaP's at 4. So here we just do all of those at 4. And that's it until you're 11. So most of your vaccines are really done by age 2. Then you get boosters at 4 and 11 and 16. Now, a flu vaccine is recommended for everyone 6 months and up. So if your baby is, come flu season, so September, October is when we start vaccinating. If the baby is 6 months old in September, October of the year, we recommend them getting the flu vaccine. 2 doses the first time you get it if you're under 9 years old, just to boost that immunity. 2 doses separated by 1 month. And then after that, just yearly.
Okay. If someone's watching us now and they're expecting that first child, can they come and see you or Dr. Mormon and sit down with you before the child's born and maybe talk about it, consultation, you guide them through that process? Is that something you would do?
We do, absolutely. We term that kind of prenatal visits. We actually this has not been advertised yet because we haven't chosen the dates, but we would like to just have our evening every couple of months where expecting moms and dads can come meet us, tour the facility, have them a little bag that has a little info about us and a little information about what to expect at each visit, what to do when you're in the hospital and your baby's born, and just kind of what to expect when you come first, when you come next, which visits have vaccines. Because, you know, a lot of parents which I think is good, like to prepare their children.
Yeah.
Am I getting a shot today or am I not? So they can kind of have that, you know, in hand and talk to us about it.
Great idea. I think that's wonderful, you know, and we'll get the word out to you when that comes. What are your hours?
We're 8 to 5, Monday through Friday.
And when I was here for the ribbon cut, you talked about parents can call you. Y'all have numbers to call if you got, because a lot of things, even my own doctor, you know, I call my own personal doctor and say, hey, you know, I think I'm getting a sinus infection, or this is happening, that is happening, and he'll call me in a prescription. So a lot of things can be handled by phone or email possibly. Do you do email too?
We do. The way we have it right now, which we feel like is just a service to our patients and kind of helps keep that continuity, if you call the office number after hours, at night, on the weekend, whenever you need us, when you leave a message, it will ring to my cell phone or Dr. Mormon's cell phone, and depending on who's on call, and we'll return your call within an hour. So you're hearing back from your physician, and most of the time parents just need direction. They have a question, can this wait till in the morning? What do I need to do for this? Do I need to rush to urgent care or the emergency room? So I think sometimes just guiding them through that process, because a lot of times they're just worried. The fever's 104 and they're thinking,
Yeah.
tell me what to do. I just give Motrin and Tylenol and see you tomorrow, or what else? You know, we just have to ask some more leading questions and kind of help them through it. And then by asking those other questions, we're able to determine, like, okay, do you need to go to the emergency room? Can we see you first thing in the morning? Do you need to give it 48 hours? Do we need to call something in to get you through the night? We don't call in a lot of antibiotics for pediatrics without seeing them, because you just don't ever want to cover up a major infection in a kid. Now, if we just saw you earlier that day or something, that may be different. But generally speaking, we don't call in antibiotics without seeing the child. But there are some other things that we do, you know, breathing treatments or, you know.
Well, you can make sure they're doing the right thing. And
That's right.
Back to what you just said, parents need that reassurance. You're a parent yourself. You want to be reassured. And before we go, tell me a little bit about your family. I know you got 3 kids, and just tell me a little bit about your family.
Okay, so I'm married to Lamar, who we both grew up in Sandersville. He's a forester, and has his own business and works outside every day and loves that. And then we have 3 boys. Ben is 12, Andrew is 9, and Jacob is 6. So they are rambunctious and love baseball and love just all kind of stuff.
They're all boy,
They're all boy. They're all outside. They like to hunt and fish and all the sports that there are, so they keep us going and busy, but sweet, good kids.
And kids are not, when I was growing up, that's all you did. You didn't have all these video games and things inside. But do you think the more active a kid is that tied to health in any way? But, you know, active kids seem to get along much better, though.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Exercise is good for them. It helps them sleep better. It helps build their immune system. It helps them do better in school because they get that energy out and get those endorphins moving. And or just really, it does help focus, you know. I think it helps them even behave better.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm notorious at home if mine start arguing. I'll say, go outside and run, give me 5 laps. And they come in or go shoot some hoops out. They're like a different kid when they come in. So absolutely.
Yeah, good. Well, thank you so much. I know you're busy. You got a busy practice here, but I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Dr. Leah Helton here at Hope Pediatrics, and we're going to take a commercial break and come back with her partner, Dr. Drew Mormon. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Meadows Health is much more than a hospital. We're heart attack stoppers and fitness jump starters. We're cancer fighters and patient huggers. We're a surgery center and an up-all-night center. We're a devoted group of primary care and specialty physicians, all in one advanced, comprehensive, and close-to-home health system. Far more than a medical center, we're Meadows Health, and we're here for you in Vidalia.
Welcome back, everybody. As promised, I have Dr. Drew Moorman with us here at Hope Pediatrics, if you're just joining us. We're actually here at the clinic, and we're in the well waiting room,
Correct.
right? Last time I was with you, I said, which one am I in, Dr. Moorman? And you said, you're in the sick waiting room, which I didn't like. But it's really cool that y'all separate it, and I know it makes parents, and it reassures them, don't it?
It does. It does. I mean, all of us, unfortunately, do get sick at some point in time, but you want to know that when you're coming for your well visit, especially a well visit with a baby, that you're not sitting beside someone who has the flu or some other kind of contagious illness, because you never know the person sitting next to you, they may actually have not some kind of immune problem, they can't fight off illnesses as well, and they're here for a totally different problem. So we try to keep everyone separated.
In Hope Pediatrics, we're here on Fairview Drive, right here under the hospital. This is the old Dublin Internal Medicine building where they were before. Just if you're watching us in Wrightsville or Soperton or somewhere, you might not know where it is, but easy to get here, right under the hospital. I was talking to Dr. Helton. She's got 3 boys, and you have?
I have 3 children also. So I have a boy, he's currently 5 years old, and I have 2 girls, a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Wow.
They keep us busy.
Yeah, so y'all basically, between you and Dr. Helton, y'all had the start of a practice anyway, didn't you?
Well, we did. We got some ages covered for certain between the 2 of us.
I would feel more comfortable as a grandparent if I was taking my grandchild to a doctor, a pediatrician. I'd feel more comfortable with one that actually has kids and knows, that experience and knows more about it. What do you think about that?
Well, I agree. So I was a pediatrician before I had kids, and I definitely know my advice has changed. I give families since I've had children. Before children, everything was definitely by the book, as the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends. But now I've had kids and realized, well, okay, you can still do that, but let's do it in this way.
Yeah.
And so you can still meet all your guidelines and all the recommendations, but there's different ways to do it. And so I definitely feel it is better to talk to someone that's not only just the pediatrician, but also the parent as well.
That's right. That experience in any business, but as a doctor, as a pediatrician, once you gain that experience of a father, you do look at things different. Well, you worked in a big practice in another state, didn't you?
I did. I was in a very large practice in Charlotte, North Carolina. There were 7 physicians and about 5 nurse practitioners there, 6 nurse practitioners by the time I had left. And it was very busy. We had a ton of patients come through every single day. We were open 7 days a week.
Wow.
And we had extended hours and everything at that practice. And it was great when I first got there. Things just started changing a lot. There was a lot more, as part of a large corporation, there was a lot more things coming down from administration and telling us how you have to do this, you have to do that. And I started realizing that this isn't what I got into medicine for. I want to be able to help people. I want to be able to give my advice, go based on my experiences as a parent, as a pediatrician, and say what I think should be able to done. But it was just changing the way I didn't feel comfortable, and I thought there's more to medicine than this, and I wanted to be able to do that. But at the same time, I started feeling the strong calling. I do believe there is a God. I do believe in God, and so I wanted to be able to incorporate that into it as well. And I didn't feel that was possible where I was. And so I started looking for other ways to do it, and I spent some time looking for other jobs, other places, and then came to realize, well, I've been wanting to move home for a very long time. My wife I met, she's from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I was doing my residency training at Wake Forest University Baptist Medical Center when we met, actually in the pediatric intensive care unit over a patient. And so her family's up there, we had some strong ties there, and she just didn't feel comfortable quite yet leaving. And she's okay for me to say this to you in front of the TV and everything. And it's got to the point where we both felt that this is God calling us to come. And it was just like there was a switch, a slip, and she said, yes, let's do it. And I was like, I feel the same way. And so started talking to Leah about I wanted to open a practice. She wanted to open a practice. Said, let's do it together. Yep. And here we are.
And I could tell when I met you back in December that your faith is very important to you. And I know that, you know, you prayed about it, you gave it time, and let God lead you where He wanted you, not where Drew Mormon wanted to go. And I know we agree that's so important.
That is important. As I said, I was looking for other jobs actually for a good year or so before I actually decided this is what I was going to do. And I was in North Carolina at the time, so I was looking in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. And I just didn't see anything, come across anything that this is what I want. This is what I am. I feel called. I feel comfortable to do. And then once Dr. Helton and I started talking about the process, it wasn't immediately like, yes, we're going to do it, but it was several more months, and like, okay, this is what we are going to do together.
Well, and now you're in your element.
Yes, sir.
You get to spend that time with the parents or the grandparents and the children, and I know it's different than that corporate type America, to be able to come to Dublin, close to your home, and raise your family in just a wonderful part of Georgia. We're close to everything, not far from the beach, not far from the mountains. I mean, we got most anything you'd want, so a great place to live, to work, and to play, you know, right here. Well, tell me about Hope. You know, Hope Pediatrics. Where did that name come from?
So the name came actually from, well, we didn't know what to name it. And we went back and forth on lots of different names, and we were not coming up with anything that just stood out at us, and grabbed us, said, this is what you're looking for. And one day, one of Dr. Helton's kids, I actually can't remember at the moment which one it was, he came out and said, well, what about Hope Pediatrics? And he had come up with the acronym HOPE, of helping our people excel. And we talked about, well, we like the name HOPE, and then we're like, well, helping our people excel. Okay, well, could that be misinterpreted? Well, who are our people? Do we want to go with that? Do we not want to go with that? And so we kept throwing, well, that sounds nice, but we'll keep looking for another name. And it came over those few months when she and I were talking about opening a practice that we just kept referring to it as Hope. And so it became Hope Pediatrics. And so our people, if anybody was asking, is really any parent, any child, any employee, anybody that's affiliated with Hope Pediatrics. I mean, if you come to us, we want you to excel. That's right. It's not just us. You know, God wants you to excel. We want to have a strong Hope community.
And I know you have a scripture from Hebrews on your website, and you know, so it seems like everywhere I turn, I know when we first met, you know, you can always feel a certain spirit about people that has faith. You carry it over into the name. If somebody logs onto your website, hopepediatrics.com, one of the first things they see is a scripture there.
So hopedublin.com.
Hopedublin.com.
That's our website. The name Hope Pediatrics was already taken by another pediatric group. And so we had to go with Hope Dublin.
Okay. And we got that on the screen, so it's right on the screen, even though I did say it wrong, but it's right there in all their services, anything you need to know. The hours are there, talks about the staff. Right. And before we go, you got a great staff. Why don't you brag on them for a minute?
I agree. I think we do. We spent a lot of time looking for our staff members. We really did. We had a consultant we had hired to help us do this process because I was in Charlotte and she was here working full-time also. And just trying to get everyone together to do interviews was going to be difficult. So we hired as a consultant to help us look. And so we started looking and threw out on lots of different websites, asking for resumes, and we got a lot. We got a lot from the Middle Georgia area. And so we started bringing in people to interview, and it wasn't as much about your abilities as do you have the same vision of what we are wanting to create with Hope Pediatrics. And I think we chose people that have that vision. Now, they have the abilities too. They definitely have the abilities to do our nurses, our front desk check-in, and our billing. They have the heart for pediatrics. They do.
Yeah, and you can tell it. Friendly smile when you walk in the door. You know you're in good hands. As I told Dr. Held, I know y'all are busy. You got a busy practice, but I really appreciate you sitting down and talking to me today.
Thank you for coming out and talking to us.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mormon.
Yes, sir.
And we are here at Hope Pediatrics. The information's right there on the screen. And we really appreciate them taking the time today. And thank you so much for joining us today.